Shalom, shalom. All esteem belong to Abba Yahuwah. He alone be esteemed. He alone be lifted high for this day, for this hour, for this time of truth telling. Coming back again. Yeah, coming back again. Like we never left. All esteem belongs to Abba Yahuwah. He alone is worthy. He alone be true. He alone should be thanked. He alone should be honored. If I'm coming across clear, go ahead and drop some sevens in the comments. I see we got folks coming back from New Zealand, Colorado. Yeah, who will be esteemed for this opportunity. Yeah, I see your message, Tina. Go ahead. Yeah, I can definitely use the charger out there. My phone, the sun be eating up my phone battery life. So I appreciate that. But Yahuwah will be esteemed for all that he is doing for us in this hour and this season. I see those sevens in the comments. Yahuwah alone be esteemed. Coming back from Canada. Yeah, we're gonna get into some truth-telling session today. It's a hard topic. It's not one of those popular ones because it don't gratify the lies. It don't esteem the deception. It eradicates the truth. It eradicates the lies that counter truth, and really just causes you to stand in one place or the other. That's what truth does. Truth does that. Nothing alone can do such but truth and truth only. Yahuwah will be esteemed. Yahuwah will be lifted high. I'm excited for this word. I'm excited for this season. I'm excited for what Yahuwah is doing right now as we speak, especially in my life. He is raising me up in a way that I never thought, considered, never even crossed my mind. I thought I was supposed to be some elite professional athlete or some high skilled trained operator for the government or whatever. I had all these views and ideas and perspectives about the path I was supposed to travel in life. But then, of course, things changed. The world changed. In 2020, everybody got the clear vision of the world we live in today, which is nothing but evil. And a lot of people didn't like what they saw. Yep. Yeah, somebody from American Southwest. Yeah, but they didn't like what they saw. Because, Yahuwah was like, I'm going to pull the veil back. I'm going to show you who your government leaders are. I'm going to show you what your churches are really about. I'm going to show you what your husband is about. I'm going to show you what your wife is truly about. I'm going to show you your kids. I'm going to show you the job you really, you invest in all your time and energy in. Your so-called vacation and bucket list and all these things you want to accomplish. Yahuwah is like, I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to make it plain for you. So you can see where you'll, basically give you that opportunity. Choose the path you want to take. Choose the path you want to take. And man, I'm telling you, this journey not been easy. It's not been easy. But I'm excited for the journey because one of the main things we get to see the word of Yahuwah manifest itself. The fruition of his word come into evidence, like it's living proof right before our eyes. I'm excited for that because, how many times people say the Bible is fake and, the scriptures is man-made and man-written, so it ain't true. And, they down talk the Almighty. They talk all this nonsense, right? But then over and over again, you see the word manifest itself. So Toda Abba Yahuwah, Barak him, because he gave ears to hear and eyes to see, so that we can walk this reality out, understanding what is really happening in the season and how to prepare. But make no mistake about it, everything that is happening had already happened. In the time of Noah, the time of Abraham, the time of the southern kingdom, the northern kingdom, there was nothing new under the sun. Nothing. Everything is a constant repeat. The only difference, which is not even really a difference, is that it all becomes greater. Greater. That's it. The evils, greater. The trials, more and tougher, right? It gets darker. It gets more challenging, but it's not different as far as something new. These are not no new challenges. These are not new trials and tribulations. They're all the same. Been happening for a long time. So we ought to give Yahuwah the esteem that despite what the wicked had tried to do with the word, the accounts still exist. The testimonies are still there. So we can go back and draw strength from those who came before us. In times we want to quit, the enemy's trying to convince us otherwise, trying to pull us back to perdition. We can go back and look at the repeated challenges the chosen face, King David, Eliyahu, Jeremiah, all the different messengers that he called. And we need that. We need that. You need something to fall back on that's going to help you stand up. Right? You need something that's going to fortify you when everything is trying to crush you. And that's why he left the accounts for us. And in this very day in which we live, there are many witnesses to the very realities we see in this and the truth happening right now. There are people overcoming fiery furnaces today, the lion's den today, the dividing of houses today. Because Yahuwah keeps his word, he keeps his promises. And I'm esteemed that I'm one of those individuals who he has preserved despite me, despite the things that I've done, have kept me in various storms. And I'm excited for what he has prepared for us, all those who truly love him, what he has in store, what no eye have truly witnessed. Talking about us among mankind, having seen what he has set up for those who prove their love for him by how they walk, how they carry themselves. But when I say we got a powerful word today, we got a word that's going to send some people in the wrong direction because they don't want to hear it. Again, it don't fit the narrative. It don't fit what most people talk about. And if the message is being spoken by other people, this message today, and it's probably most likely more times than not spoken without the context, spoken from a place of hatred or ignorance, spoken with no true remedy according to the word, fake precepts, flawed inclusion, flawed exclusion, no real depth, no real stance on the realities of what the word is. But Yada Yahu, he's given me this word to speak as a warning, not just for the nations / Gentiles, but for everybody who name his name. You hear this word, and that means it's for you. Take off running, and nothing I could do about that. We're going to get into it tonight. End times, the curse is reversed. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for the curse being reversed? It's happening as we speak. Again, the word is coming to life. It's already alive. But we're now witnessing what he has spoken ages ago to his people. Long time ago. We are seeing it come to fruition right now. And the question is, are you ready? Or are you still dibble-dabbing and figuring things out the way you want to do it? We're about to find out here in the word tonight. We're doing this time which we're watching this study. Again, happy prep day. To hell with this age. This age you should be tired of this age. You should have no real expectation or no desires for what this age has to offer. So-called success, so-called achievements, accomplishments, victories given by this world is nothing but perishing illusions. That's all it is. Headaches, hard times and setbacks. And anybody who don't say they have such are basically filling their head with the illusion. Oh, this is how it is. This is the hustle. This is what you got to do to make it. This you get. Nah, that was never kingdom living. It was always demonic nonsense. The people didn't have to hustle. Yahuwah promised them the land flowing with milk and honey. They didn't have to go out there and try to concoct it, create it, figure out how to get the artificial flavor version of it. He promised them. But yet the rebellion caused what we see today, starting from the garden. Man has constantly fallen backwards or refused to get up. That is a known historical fact. But there are those of us who've looked out on this age and come to this one hard conclusion. The hell with it. It ain't offering us nothing true. All the work people spend to gain something, look how much work they have to spend to keep it. Oh, I make so much money doing so many things, and I got a big old house that you can't even live in because you have to keep spending your money or spending your time making the money to keep the house. But they paint that in Babylon as success, happiness. You've bought a house. In all reality, you signed a 30-year sentence. Don't pay that note and see what happens. Don't pay that bill and see what happens to that car. It's not success. That's called stress. Package as success. We woke now, and we're going to act like it. That's why we do these studies. First and foremost, I want to do a special message to the watchmen and the watchwomen. Yes, this is a word Yahuwah has put on my heart very passionately this week due to recent events and circumstances. So when it happens, he leads me to share, and I want to share it with you. We talk about this often because it's a reality seen all throughout the word. Again, history repeating itself. His story repeating itself over and over again. But we're in the final separation. This is it. This is it. This isn't another kingdom, southern kingdom, northern kingdom situation here. This isn't, what you seen in the wilderness before. This is it. This is the end time separation of the scattered. Whether such join themselves unto Yahuwah as a nation, or those who return to him as his people, original firstborn. We are watching the separation, and everybody who has eyes to see and ears to hear should be witnessing this in their own life, either in their homes, in their communities, at the grocery store, your job, whatever, an assembly or whatever you gather in. You should be seeing this. You should be experiencing this, right? No one should be exempt from the great separation. What is the great separation truly? I'm glad you asked that question. Do not think that I have come to bring shalom on earth. I did not come to bring shalom, but a sword. For I have come to place a man against his father, a daughter against her mother, and daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and a man's enemies will be those of his own household. Metahayu 10:34-36. This is the great separation. He said he came into the world, but where did he start his separation at? He started his separation right in the house, in the place closest to you. Yes, where your bloodline is, the people who ought to be on your side. He said, I came to divide them people, and to do so with the sword. This is an inevitable reality that, again, you ought to be experiencing this, period. You can't say you walk with him and you don't see the divide. If you don't see it, then something's wrong. He said, I'm coming to your house and I'm bringing a sword. And that sword is going to divide. It's going to cause friction. It's going to cause severing. It's going to cause separation. Why? Because on one side of the sword is the truth. And on the other side of the sword is the lie. Period. It was designed to sever. It was designed to cut. This happened all throughout the scriptures, all throughout the word. We see this reality. It don't matter where you stand in Yahuwah's house, whether you are a messenger, whether you are someone just there to aid the people, whatever your stance is, he said, I'm coming to divide. And look at the time, you would think someone like Moshe and his brother Haran would experience great unity among his people, especially those of his own household. Look what Yahuwah led him to do. The people were heavily oppressed for years, so oppressed they lost their way. They lost the knowledge of themselves. And rather than trying to be unified with the one whom Yahuwah spoke to directly, they murmured, they complained, they argued against him. And his own sister, jealous of the man, jealous of the calling on his life, said, does not Yahuwah speak to us also? She wasn't just simply trying to voice her opinion, feeling about what she felt about Moshe and what she thought she was doing or able to do. She was speaking to other messengers. She was trying to instigate, to start some mess, to rowdy up the people. And I love how the word shows how Yahuwah came down himself. He said, y'all come to the tent of meeting. And he said to his sister, Moshe's sister, he said, why were you not afraid to even open your mouth and say something like that? Man, he looked past her words. Understand that Yahuwah looked past the words of his sister and he looked directly into her heart. And he saw she had no fear of who he had chosen, how he used that person, and who he is in general. Understand that, beloved. Many people today go open up their mouth because they have no fear of Yahuwah. I've had people tell me very close to me that they jealous of me because I can lose weight faster than them. How stupid is that? When we all have different body types, we have different metabolisms, and our bodies go through variations of things. But people, again, lack the fear of Yahuwah, the true fear of Yahuwah. So even when he delivers words to them, trying to lead and guide them, they reject it one way, shape, fashion, form, or another. That is the end time reality, set to divide the house, the family, right in your midst. You need to understand that, watchmen, watch women, because the objective is to get you to quit, to get you to throw in the towel, to get you to defend those who don't have fear for Yahuwah, will open their mouth and say anything rather than stand on the truth. Yes. Yes, I had someone tell me here very recently that I was a stumbling block in their path. Let me tell you, the person that said it off of some ignorant ideology, perception in their head, totally misunderstood reality, said that to me. I was hurt. I was hurt. Yeah, it hurts being a watchman. Believe that. I was so hurt I went to sleep with tears in my eyes. But you know what? I love how Yahuwah reassures his people. He reassures his elect, his called and sent ones. And I had a dream that very night. And I went out to, I was standing in this open city, if you will. And there were all these men, tons of men from various languages. You know, they were all dressed different. You can look at them and tell they were not the same men. And they were all running around looking foolish. The look on their face was just like, simplistic, foolish, apathetic, no real concern, no intent. It's one thing I really noticed in the dream. And I saw this person standing in the midst of all these men. And I walked over to them. Inside of me, inside the dream, I knew I was being led to that individual. And I walked up and I hugged the person. And I said, "Thank you for receiving me." And you know what that person said? "Thank you for receiving you?" He said, "All these men around here, look at them. He said, you are one of the few." Yes, it was a dream I needed so I can stand on righteousness and not let the words of people who choose to just, again, say what they want, do as they please, emotional roller coaster up and down individuals. Don't let them. It was so that I didn't allow that to draw me out of the calling that's on my life. I've been through a whole lot, but I esteem Abba Yahuwah because he preserves me despite my actions, despite my history. I didn't ask for that dream. I don't ask for any dream that I get. Yes. But when he gave it to me, I woke up with joy. With joy. And I needed that. Yada Yahuwah for him, again, showing me the realities. Wickedness and righteousness is always proven when you are under pressure. We talk about this often. Did a whole study on it. Take an orange, squeeze it with everything you got. You're going to get the contents of which that fruit is made up of. You can't help it. It's inevitable. You cannot squeeze an orange and get orange juice. You cannot crush an apple and get lemonade. Okay? What is on the inside of an individual, what is truly deep down in the core of a person, will always come to fruition under pressure. So therefore, if the person is wicked, better believe pressure is going to bring it out. If the person is truly built up on righteousness, truly desires the heart of Abba Yahuwah, when you squeeze them, I'm not talking about we've fallen short. We are still humans in the flesh. We're going to not fall or not perfect the walk entirely in this age of realities. We already messed that up. But I love how the book of Enoch says that when that time of redemption comes, he said, "My elect and my righteous will sin no more." He's telling you you've already failed at perfection, but transformation is on the way. But someone built up on righteousness, listen, when you fall down, you don't give it 2 weeks, 6 months. When you feel like it, you get back up. You go after repentance. You go after righteousness. But you know what? You have to have a desire for true introspection to look inside of you to see how you are failing to uphold his Torah. So when you stumble along the way, if your heart is truly attached to his, guess what? You're going to get back up. And it don't take all this time, the illusion of therapy and counseling and all this nonsense they put out there to create this idea that it's okay to keep walking around in mud. What does it truly mean to be wicked? Woe unto those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light and light for darkness, who put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Yashayahu Isaiah 5:20. Unfortunately, people have taken this verse and they look out on the bacon, lettuce, tomato community, the alphabet community, and say, "Oh, look at that. They call an evil good and good evil," right? Look what they've done with the rainbow. You look at the politicians and the corporations and, oh, they're evil. Look what they're doing to the food, they're evil. But understand something. Yashayahu Isaiah 5:32 or 20, and the rest of the word was not written to the wicked of the world. Yahuwah was always speaking first and foremost to his people. So when he says, woe to those who call good evil, he's talking to the individual who ought to be doing the right thing because he had shown them, he had told them what righteousness is. But again, we live in that era, an age of the amplification of wickedness, where people will justify any evil thing they want to do because they feel in some kind of way. To Yahuwah, that is wicked, just as well as someone deciding that they want to be how the nations move and function. Wickedness is not based on what I think, you think, anybody else think. It's based on what is written. You don't get to not obey the word of Abba Yahuwah because you feel in some kind of way. Yes, you don't get to do as you choose because things don't go how you like them to go. Yes. But see, that's today, right? How many people in Yahuwah say his name? They say they're in him. They say his name, but then they do as they will. Woe unto you who call evil good. Oh, you don't know what I'm going through. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like that. So I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. Woe unto you. The great divide has always come down to truth versus lie. That's it. That is the ultimate divider. Who stands on truth and who stands on lie? Truth don't care about your feelings. Truth don't care about where you at emotionally. Truth don't even ask you about your childhood traumas, your baby, your daddy traumas, where your daddy wasn't there for you, didn't do for you, didn't come and rescue you, or your mama walked out on you. Truth, show me that in the word, where truth was this therapeutic response to the childhood or the past traumas in your life. Yahuwah said this age is perishing, is set for fire. Do you think he's really set his word out to go and just simply cater your emotional stance on what happened to you and all that as part of the perishing? Truth is for you to move in him, so when he shakes the earth, as he's doing right now, he destroys the wicked, you are left standing. But again, the lie, which people have made comfortable, convenient for themselves, have made acceptable for themselves, has become a reality they don't want to denounce. You ought to be experiencing this again in your homes, wherever you go, if you are on the side of righteousness, period. So I say this to my watchmen, brothers and sisters: hold the line. Hold the line. I'm not talking, when I say watchmen, I don't simply mean watchmen right now. I don't mean watchmen as those who are directly appointed by Abba Yahuwah. I'm talking about those who understand they got to watch their ways, watch their mouths, keep their eyes on the covenant, not the clock. Hold the line. The way of Abba Yahuwah has been under attack since the serpent opened his mouth. That's why you see all throughout the word him commanding you to guard his way, because it's under attack. And it needs to be guarded if you want to be rewarded in the end. And when Yahushua had finished these parables, he went away from there, and coming to his own country, he taught them in their synagogue. They didn't say his. Yeah, for all you got to be trying to go somewhere, or they be trying to convince people to go places on Shabbat, talking about you got to go to the synagogues. And people that before the kingdoms fell, understand that before the kingdoms fell, there was no we going to the synagogues. We going together. Wasn't no going to church. All that came afterwards. The falling away was a part of it. So that they were astonished and said, where did this man get this wisdom and these mighty works? And is this not the carpenter's son? Is it not his mother called Miriam, and his brothers Jacob, Yehoseph, Shimon, and Yahudah? And his sisters, are they not all with us? Where did this man get these things? They were astonished by his teachings. They were astonished by how he moved, how he carried himself, in the acts in which he did. So where did he get these teachings from? Where did he get these works from? How can he do this? If isn't he just old Joe Schmo, Miriam's kid, round the block? So they were offended at him. But Yahuwah said to them, a messenger is not without honor except in his own country and his own household. And he did not do many works because because of their unbelief. Metahayu 13:53-58. He didn't perform many things there because the people were his people. They were his family members, right? His community, his bloodline. Right? He says that the truth tells us that the honor is usually given to the messenger outside the house, outside the family, outside the community. They don't truly appreciate the messenger. We see it all throughout the word. Yahushua was the climax of this reality before we get into what they call the New Testament. Right? The people only appreciated the messenger when his message benefited their flesh. That's it. That's it. These are the wicked. They may call themselves righteous. They may say Yahuwah's name. They may even show up for appointed times. But the truth is, they only appreciate the messenger when it benefits their flesh-led desires. Period. Most certainly I say to you, you seek me not because you saw the signs, but because you ate and the loaves. You ate the loaves and were filled. 𝐤𝐄𝐄𝐄 or John 6:26. The people were all excited about the righteous right arm extended into the earth because he was giving them what they needed or desired for their flesh. Yeah, they were happy. They were overjoyed. They loved him. They appreciated him because he was making sure their physical needs was met. But the sign of how the physical need was met, they entirely missed. Yes. The sign, the evidence, the witness, the proof through the manifestation of his work that was given to them right before their eyes. They couldn't even see it because their eyes was focused somewhere else. Their heart's desires were set on something else. What happened when Yahushua stopped gratifying their flesh? Now it was Passover day, or preparation day of the Passover, and about the 6th hour. And he said to the Yahudim, behold your king. Look at y'all, your king is here. But they cried out, away with him, away with him, crucify him. 𝐤𝐄𝐄𝐄, John 19:14-15. Yes. The same people he fed when they was hungry, following him on a long journey. Remember the word? What did it say? It said, Yahushua told the taught ones, he said, you give them something to eat. They had told him, he said, the people have followed us all the way out here. And they need some food to eat because it's too far for them to go back to go grab them something to eat. So he said, you guys take care of that. Go ahead and break some bread with them. He said, how are we supposed to do that? Right? But he opened up the windows of Shemayim and poured out a miraculous barakah in their life and fed them in a time where they couldn't feed themselves. And as soon as he stopped feeding them, yes, what did they do? Crucify him. He's not my king. They wasn't saying that before. Yes. This is where the foolishness comes from. Moving mindset ministry versus truth unedited. I get this ridiculous nonsense often. Yes, when you go out and you rebuke the lies people share, Despite, I don't care what your platform is, how many or how little. But people look at that rebuke, they look at that contextual truth provided, the realities about repentance according to the word provided, and they say, wow, I look over at Truth Unedited and y'all don't look like y'all say anything different, or at least not that much different, and so forth and so on. This is why I got this message from a person named Monique Levitt. Love it. All praises to the Most High, and thank you for this. Right? How many times have I told y'all don't thank me? Okay. So I said that, and I still get this message. In the Most High, who? What's his name? As one coming out of lawlessness and having 55 years of Christianity teaching, I have an honest question. I have watched Truth Unedited and others, but Ron in particularly, and in many, if not all other his videos, he stresses repentance and reading the Holy Scriptures for yourself, being led by the Ruach HaKodesh. Could you tell me what or why you have this stance against him? If I was attacking the person, that I would identify the person, but I, through Abba Yahuwah, identifies the lie, the falsehood, the self-appointment. But I'm being placed in this position of moving mindset ministry versus Truth Unedited. Yes. Again, where does foolishness come from? You don't seek me because you saw the signs, but because you ate the loaves and were filled. There is no competition in the house of Yahuwah, period. That goes for the internet. That goes for the assemblies, the gathering places. That goes for your bloodline, your family members. There is no competition in his house. Yes. So when someone brings forth truth that exposes the lie, and they think you're after a person, the truth is that lie that has been exposed is what they hold near and dear. It is close to them. They're grabbing hold of the lie. So when the sword of truth comes down, swinging on that lie, because they refuse to let go, they get cut. They get severed. They get hurt. Now it's like an attack against their favorite messenger, against their whatever practices they agree with, rather than them separating themselves from the falsehood. That comment that person shared led to someone sharing this with me. Something that they searched out on so-called AI. They call it artificial intelligence, but all reality is called accumulated ignorance. Based on their theological things, the person says they typed in the search. It says Ron Charles and William Brooks online ministries are very similar. If you had to, and I don't know what the rest of the question was, but I suspect the answer that AI gave was along this. Based on their theological focus, prophetic tone, and core themes, the online ministries of Ron and William share approximately an 85 to 90% alignment in their overall message. Key areas of divergence. I'm reading this nonsense. You understand where people really stand. Truth or lie, righteousness or wickedness. Because everybody claiming something, they ain't really about it when it comes to truth. The remaining 10% to 50% difference comes down to their presentation style, background, and deliverance method, right? So this basically is supposed to break down a comparison of the moving mindset ministry and Truth Unedited. And apparently we're only off by 10 to 15%, right? Who does this? Real talk. Yeah, I'm tired of playing games. I quit school. I didn't like it. I hated it. I was going to college and I was like, this is dumb because it's too much game playing. Nobody want to get to the meat. Nobody want to get to the reality. People want to tiptoe and dance around the facts because they too worried about making somebody, hurting someone's feelings. Your feelings will send you to hell and won't even be there to comfort you. The problem is that people don't want the context of the word. They don't want it. We talk about this often. The context of the word is what actually gets into introspection, right? It is a surgical operation that's taking place inside the individual. That's the purpose of the context. That's why you don't hear context from these messengers. Ron, John, Truth, whatever. You don't hear the context. You hear a whole lot of history, a whole lot of, oh, we got a new revelation. Oh, we got something deeper. But you never hear the context of the simplicity of realities such as repentance, because now the severing gets inside the heart and it has to cut. And people don't like being cut. They want to be comforted. They don't want to have to remove the grit, the dirt, the grim, the nasty, the foul, the funky, the stuff they know they shouldn't have been doing. That's why messages like this don't go viral, because it only allows you to excuse the fact that you were sleeping with some other person's spouse. It don't allow you to get away with the reality that you've been with this person for years, but won't come out and tell the truth that their child ain't even his. Yes. It don't allow you to continue trying to pursue wealth and so-called success and become a so-called influencer. Chase these dreams and visions and ideologies created by the wicked. The truth don't allow you, when it comes to severed, listen, the context of it, it don't allow you to keep saying G-O-D. I'm calling on G-O-D. Yahuwah is the true G-O-D. All that stupidity, it don't allow you to do that. And when people, listen, when you get cut the first time and you didn't want it, and it didn't come, and you wasn't expecting it, you know what you're going to do? You're going to try everything inside of you to make sure you don't get cut again. You're going to flee. You're going to run. You're going to make excuses. You're going to continue to be wicked, evil, and then try to justify that nonsense. Act like you're righteous, and at the end of the day, you've been vowed from day one and don't want to get right. That's what the context exposes. What one should do is moving mindset ministry versus the context of the word. That's what they should be doing. What one should do is truth unedited versus the context of the word. Yes. Yes. So all this, again, illusion, deception, that is perpetuating heavy in the last days is built on this reality. Many will come in my name, saying, I am, and was never sent. Those who lack nobility are comparing apples to oranges and not truth against lies, point blank, period. Yeah, you know how many people try to compete with me when I'm not competing? I didn't step in the ring to fight nobody. I came to stand against the lie, but they want to compare me to somebody else rather than comparing what the truth says against what someone spoke. The truth tells us in the word that these were more noble than those in Thessalonica, in that they received the word with all readiness of mind and searched the scriptures daily, whether those things were so. Acts 17:18, when Shaul or Paul came to the people in Thessalonica and he had a witness of how he was called and sent, they was like, well, hold up, wait a minute, let me go look in the word to see if we can find this out, whether it be true or not. They didn't simply say, well, you know what, Shaul don't sound like Kepha. Kepha don't sound like Shaul. They said, let's check the scriptures, because if anything is going to tell us the truth, it's the word Yahuwah has sent. Everyone that has a message is not a messenger of Yahuwah. Yes, it's not a messenger of Yahuwah. Don't get it twisted. I have placed watchmen on your walls, O Jerusalem. They will never be silent day and night. You who make mention of Yahuwah, do not give yourself rest or keep silent. Yashayahu Isaiah 62:6. Yahuwah said he placed people on the wall. He did that. Meaning that no watchman or watchwoman of Yahuwah ever placed themselves on the wall. There is no watchman.com application you can fill out. There is no sign up for the IUIC Watchman course and get your certificate when you pass. Yahuwah explicitly does it because he doesn't need, but he desires to have people whom he can rely on to give his word. Truth, advisory, awakening content. All this is the product of the reverse of the curse. Yes. Oh, yes. What all you see today, everything we discussed, the family member feuds, right? The self-appointed watchman, the wickedness versus righteousness. All this is the fruition, the birthing, the growth coming up out of the reverse of the curse. And we're going to look at this amazing word to show you this reality. How did Gentiles see the 12 tribes before the curse fell on them? How did they look at the 12 tribes? What was their perception about these people before the curses had truly fell upon them? Then all the people of the earth will see that you are called by the name of Yahuwah, and they will be afraid of you. Deuteronomy 28:10. He promised the people through their obedience that they will be a people that bring terror upon the nations. Not simply because they just had it like that, but because Yahuwah was with them. He went before them. He was after them. He was all around them. So no one could defeat them. No one could stand against them. When you read the time of when they went to Jericho, what happened? The whole country, city, town, whatever it was terrified. The king and all of them. There's only one person who didn't walk in fear, and it was the prostitute Rahab. Ain't that something? Why did the one who was a prostitute, forbidden by the Torah, lack no fear? Because in all reality, she wanted to get right. That's why she offered the opportunity for the chosen to come in her house, the spies, and she hid them and kept the people from trying to capture them, sending them in a different direction. She wanted deliverance. She was tired of being a prostitute. Yes. The people feared the 12 tribes, period. They weren't just average Joes. They were fortified, built up, and empowered by the most majestic one, to the point where they can even, where Yehoshua speaks to Abba Yahuwah for the sun and the moon to stop. Eliyahu tells the rain to stop and then send it back again. Speaks to Yahuwah, he sends fire down to consume sacrifices. Daniel should have been destroyed in the lion's den, but Yahuwah preserved him. Over and over again, you see the people, when they are without the curses and the land being completely wiped out, were feared by the nations, even remnants after that. However, when the curses started to fall, Yahuwah will cause you to be defeated before your enemies. You will go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them, and you will become troublesome to all the kingdoms of the earth. Deuteronomy 28:25. Yes, all within the Deuteronomy 28 curses. Folks don't want to look at the fullness of it. They just want to get the part that, helps justify them claiming to be chosen. But he says that I'm going to basically send you running scared. You who No nation could beat you, who beat true, actual giants. Giants several times the size of men. They whooped, they devoured, they beat, took off running from the smallest armies. This was what happened to the people, what began to happen to the people, the transition of the curses. Before the 12 tribes were taken captive, the nations no longer feared them, no respect for them, not worried about what they think, do, or whatever the case may be. They weren't concerned. They didn't dread them. They went trampling towards and over the people who Yahuwah had brought out of Egypt. And they saw the sanctuary desolate, and the altar profane, and the gates burned up, and shrubs growing on the courts as a forest, or as one in the mountains. Yea, the Kohanim chambers pulled down. Maccabees, First Maccabees chapter 4, verse 38. When the people came to the land, the whole land was laid to nothing. You talking about the Kohanim place? That was the most guarded and kept sacred place in the land. It was where Yahuwah had received the petitions of the leaders on behalf of the sins of the people, and it was defiled and destroyed, pulled down. Yes. However, understand, also Yahuwah, your mighty one, will put all these curses on your enemies and on those who hate you and who persecute you. Deuteronomy 37. Everybody who hates the children of Abba Yahuwah, his firstborn that he brought out of Egypt, whom he had promised, those who persecute his people, those who are his enemies, he said he's going to turn that very curse, Deuteronomy 28, upon those people. That's his word. That's his promise. That's exactly what we're witnessing as we speak. The synagogues, the churches, the assemblies, whatever you want to call them, coming down all over America and in other places across the earth. This is his word. This is his promise. It's not made up. It's happening. Again, we are witnessing what he swore to his people long before they went into captivity. This is the prophetic retributive wrath of Yahuwah awakening in the earth. Do you have eyes to see and ears to hear to recognize this reality? It is retributive. It's payback time for Yahuwah. I know some people don't like to hear that, but that's what we're seeing, and either you're going to receive it or you're not going to receive it. I'm just here to deliver it. It is sickening. Woman says she was punched in the face while on vacation in Cuba. This is part of the curses. Again, what happened to the chosen people? No one came and gave them a back rub and hug when Yahuwah dropped them curses on them. They were highly disrespected, treated like trash, and they had no refuge. Austrian woman punched in the face by stranger outside a London tube station. This is retributive. Same deal. Daylight attack. They ain't even hiding this great craziness. I'm sure y'all saw this one. It went pretty viral. Showed up in all my feeds. I don't even be looking for this stuff. Shows up in the feed. Why it show up in your feeds? Because it's trying to get you irate. It's trying to get you all excited so that you can jump on some wicked narrative and start pursuing some illusion, or maybe go out and get some doomsday tactical skill preparation going on, or whatever it is, try to avoid this curses. All over the earth, this is taking place in Babylon and outside of Babylon. I know people don't, again, you gotta want to be delivered. We don't talk about what you need to do in the end because it's written in the word. But you need to be, people, again, it's hard. It's a hard reality, especially when the people have been walking according to narratives their whole life. Oh, look at this. It's racism. It's this. It's discrimination. It's bad policies. Why did he let the people in the country? All that. That's all the narrative of the wicked. Yahuwah said he's going to do exactly what he did to his chosen people upon those who hate him, those who persecute him. Yes, I know they get up looking innocent, like nothing happened to them. I mean, nothing. They did nothing. Ain't no innocent people on this planet. You nor I. However, the pendulum is swinging. Therefore, all those who devour you will be devoured, and all your adversaries, every one of them, will go into captivity. Those who plunder you will become plunder. And all who prey upon you will make a prey. I will make a prey. Jeremiah 35:16. Yes. Was listen, I got to go into captivity. We're going to keep on reading. Okay, we're gonna keep on reading the word. We're not gonna. This is not stand on the corner, live YouTube, internet version of the Hebrew Niggerites. Okay, there's a remedy to everything. Yahuwah sends judgment. If he gave his people way out of judgment, don't you think he's giving the nations way out of judgment? But many people don't want that way because that way requires them to do what they don't want to do. Yes. We know what happened again. We talk about this quite often. I'm sure you hear it in Hollywood and all the hateful Negroes on the corner standing there talking that nonsense or on social media, but we know what happened. And these are the people who built these churches, period. Force 2, you will serve other deities neither you nor your fathers have known. Yeah. Force 2. Okay. However, look what's happening to them today. Churches all over America are being set on fire. And they want to call it a sleeper cell. Ain't no doggone sleeper cell. Ain't no sleeper cell going on around here. This is judgment. All right. This is a March 17, 2026 article. Yeah. This is not some kind of failure in the office or failure. This is Yahuwah saying, listen, I'm doing some payback time now. Do you truly see what is happening? Or are you like some people who just took off running or thinking about being like those and taking off running because the heat of this reality is too heavy? How you claim you serve him, but you won't serve him fully and contextually. You serving him based on emotion, opinions, and perspectives and personal interpretations of the word. The truth is nobody respects the so-called European white man anymore. Period. Don't get in your feelings. Okay. Same thing happened to the chosen people. No one respected them either when the curses fell. Period. Hard reality, but it is true. He said, I will send these curses upon you just as I sent upon your enemy, just as I sent upon the chosen people. Okay. There was a time you would never see this kind of nonsense in the news. You would not see this on the media. You would not. Because the fear that exists, you would not have people walking up down the street knocking out so-called white women. Why? Because there was a mob waiting to dismember the person who did that and their family and burn their property to the ground. But now they're terrified because the reality is we are living in the reverse of the curse. This is the kickoff of it all. Woe to you, Assyria, the rod of my anger, and the staff in whose hand is my indignation. I will send him against the wicked nation and against the people of my wrath. I will give him charge to seize the spoil, to take the prey, and to tread down like the mire of the streets. Yahshua, Isaiah 10:5-6. He said, I'm coming to step on the wicked nation. Ain't no nation more wicked in these times than Babylon. And everybody that got rich off of Babylon share in her judgment. That's what we're witnessing as we speak. The seed of Ishmael is Yahuwah's then and now army against those who hate him and his people. Why do you think America is so hard pressed about standing against the Islamic regime? Yeah, when they show the videos of them marching in the streets, holding up traffic in New York and all these things, why do you think this type of portrayal gets so much disdain because they may not be able to put two and two together in the context of the word, but they know darn well what happens when Sharia law is instituted in a nation. It is really judgment on the wicked nation. And the messenger of Yahuwah said to her, behold, you are with child and will bear a son. You will call him Ishmael, because Yahuwah has heard his affliction. He will be a wild man. His hand will be against every man, and every man against him. And he will dwell in the presence of all his brethren. Genesis 15 or 16, 1 through 12. When Yahuwah made promises, speaking of the foretelling, the future, the life of people, he included Ishmael. Why? Because Ishmael was Abraham's child too. So Yahuwah could not simply cut off Ishmael, because he had promised that all nations through the promised seed would receive the barakah. And the word says that he will dwell in the presence of all his brothers. Well, Isaac was his brother. We also know that, we'll see this here in a second, but Abraham had more children as well. But the people of the Arab crusade, the people who pray to that cube, these are them. And that's why every time you look over so-called history, you will see them constantly in conflict, in wars, in battles to this very day. Yahuwah had swore it, and thus it continues to exist. As long as these people are in existence in this age, there will be a conflict with them, whoever they may be, whoever the people they may be among. Yes. Psalm 83 conspiracy. While we on the topic, the two top conspirators were Esau and Ishmael. And Yahuwah swore, as we read here a couple studies ago, that he will turn Egypt against Egypt. Who was Egypt? The oppressor. That's why the confederacy that got together in Psalm 83 is spoken of in, I think it's Amos, about how that confederacy will turn on Esau, the Romans, now today known as the Europeans. The people of Jacob were feared, respected, honored, and could not be defeated. But when Yahuwah pulled back his hand, he sent in his army. And his army said, look here, we don't fear y'all no more. We know he's in step back. We know he's handed you to us. So now put these chains on your neck and come follow me. That's why you got the Negro out here still talking about they're from the Nation of Islam. Don't realize it. Don't want to realize it. You was serving that cube and whatnot because you the curses. However, again, what happened to us is coming on the nations, period. It's coming on the Gentiles, those who hated, despised, afflicted, rejected his people. Behold, the terrifying sight appearing from the east. The nations of the dragon of Arabia will come out with many chariots, and from the day they go out, their hissing will spread all over the earth, so that all who hear them fear and tremble. Also, the Carmanians, raging in wrath, will go forth like the boars of the field, and with great power they will come and engage them in battle, and will devastate portion of the land of Assyria, which is Syria. And then the dragons, remembering their origin, will become still stronger. And if they combine their great power and in turn pursue them, then these will be disorganized and silenced by their power and will turn and flee. And from the land of the Assyrians, Assyrians and the enemy in ambush will beset them and destroy one of them, and fear and trembling will come upon the armies, and indecision upon their kings. Second Ezra 6:15-28 through 33. This is why America/Babylon is trying to partner with the Assyrians/Syria, trying to align with the new regime after the land fell. It's prophetic reality. They're trying to preserve their illusion of being powerful people. But if the curses is reversed, why are the so-called blacks still suffering and dying? I'm glad you asked that question. I'm sure it popped up in your mind. I get it a lot. Firstly, not all blacks are 12 tribe members. It fits the narrative. It fits the narrative, but it's not the reality of the word. Abraham took a wife and he has several extra sons. Who is Abraham? His name is Ibrahim. Ibrahim means Hebrew. So he has several Hebrew children. This is one of the reasons why Shaul said everybody that is Yasharal is not Yasharal. People are trying to claim lineage, titles, and placement, and Yahuwah ain't said nothing to them. Lastly, the great number of dry bones are awakening only that most will perish, never to experience the promises. He promised to rise up his dry bones, to restore his dry bones as a people. But we know time and time again, only a remnant made it to the land. Only a remnant came into the place of the promises from the tribes through and through. Despite the Exodus, despite coming out of Babylon, only a remnant went back. Black people are being found hanging in trees. Why are officials so quick to call it suicide? Because it's the narrative. That's why. It's a narrative. Again, we're going to talk some hard contextual realities today. Okay. You've seen the so-called black people everywhere homeless. Okay. Studies reveal staggering toll of being black in America, 1.6 million excess deaths over 22 years. This report came out in 2023. Yes. You will be left few in number, whereas the stars of the Shemaim in multitude, because you would not obey the voice of Yahuwah, your mighty one. Deuteronomy 28:26. Again, this is the part of when people get out on the corners and in the pulpits and online and talking about, oh, I'm chosen. Look at the Deuteronomy 28 curses. Look at what happened in transatlantic slave trade. Oh, guess what I found out? There was 1,000-year millennial slave trade done by the Arabs. Oh, we must be chosen. He said there's going to be a few left over, and he's going to judge them in the very land in which they dwell. They keep doing church. They keep eating whatever they want, violating his dietary laws. They keep calling on God, keep showing up to sporting events. He's not taking you back to captive. He's releasing you over to your final time here in this age, in this life. The word tells us that there is a future for all mankind. Everyone, all peoples. Yahusha declared it. Enoch spoke about it. It's written in various places in the so-called Old Testament. And what that is a coming back to life, a resurrection, if you will. And he says all who are in the graves will hear his voice and they will come forth. But there will be those who will go to everlasting punishment because they did evil. And then those that will go to eternal life because they did good. Who defines righteousness? Who defines wickedness? Yes. What should you do? I'm glad you asked that question. Stop playing with Yahuwah, because he ain't playing with you. You disrespectful. You being disrespectful when you think he's not going to pay you back for that? You've come to the knowledge of truth as you profess. You say he has awakened you as you claim, but you still can't honor in the way which he said. But you're going to get him to open up the windows of the Shemaim and pour you out a better car. He's going to preserve you from this point forward into the land, into eternal promises, but you continue to play games with him. Yes. Yeah, you're supposed to be a man, but yet you running around here like a little boy, still blaming people for your troubles, your dramas, your traumas. You're supposed to be a leader. He didn't give you them male parts just so you can do something to make you feel good with it. He gave you the male parts so that you can be proof of the production of righteousness. Let us make man in our image and after our likeness, not the likeness of a doggone woman. Yes. And you women out there who can't seem to honor and respect because you got this feminism nonsense going on that you just gonna snap your neck and do what you want to do. You better go read, especially you out here with your breast hanging out, advertising yourself on social media. You better go read the Apocalypse of Kepha or Peter and see what happened to these so-called enticing women, manipulative women. You know you got dirt in your closet, but you don't want to be real and come forth. He not playing with you. Look around at these people perishing left and right. What do you think they're perishing before? Because, oh, it's just evil times? He kept his obedient in evil times. He kept them in fire and brimstone. He kept them in darkness and wickedness. Why are these people not being kept? Because they're faking it. They're fronting. They're pretending, or they completely rejected the reality. So he is perishing them, Gentile and Hebrew too. Yes. And we're going to get into it. This is about your soul. This ain't about you feeling good. This is about you getting right. Yes. Yes. Why are you walking around, woman, with spandex clothes on? Got your body advertised. Let's be real with it. But you don't want some man to do nothing to you. You over there enticing the evil. I saw this video the other day of this woman in here fighting in the gym for her dear life. At least that's what she believed. From this guy that was trying to assault her in the gym. But you in the gym, you in the place surrounded by wickedness with these clothes on that all it does is tell every part of your body. You playing with Yahuwah. I don't know who that person was, but I know some of you out there playing with him. Wearing what you want, saying what you want, doing what you want. You dishonorable wives. You don't get to honor your husband because you feeling like it. You honor him because the word commands you to. You gonna get a pass for dishonoring him because you don't like it? He's gonna judge you. He's judging the world right now. And his people are perishing left and right because judgment starts with the house of Yahuwah. Yes. They're being left to their own destruction as we speak. It's time to get right. Whether you a Hebrew or a Gentile, you stop faking it. Stop pretending. Again, people don't like this truth because it's the context that digs deep inside of the individual that demands change. Yahuwah never called his people to coast through life. He never told them to set up their own views and perspectives about obedience. Yes. He never gave people the pass to do what they want. He said, I'm going to pay you back. It may not be when you expect it, but you're going to get it. That's his word. And it's time to tighten up, or you're going to be left to the judgment. Also, the sons of the foreigner who joined themselves to Yahuwah, to serve Yahuwah, to love the name of Yahuwah, to be his servants, everyone who keeps from defiling the Shabbat and hold fast my covenant, even them I will bring to my consecrated mountain. Yashayahu, Isaiah 56, 6-7. So you tell me this, beloved. All these Negroes, Hebrew Negrilites on the corner talking about the white man can't make it. He gonna perish and die. He can't, no salvation for him. But he says right here, the sons of foreigner. You show me where he says certain people can't make it. He opened the opportunity. He said, for all that join themselves. What does it mean to join themselves to Yahuwah? It means to serve him. You can't serve him in the world. You can't serve him in your desires. You can't serve him in your opinions, your views and perspectives. That's what's wrong with people today. We was told this was going to happen. They're going to be lovers of themselves, all while saying, we love you, Yahuwah. Stop that doggone lie. If you love him, then prove it. Obey him. You can't say you love his name, but you dishonor him at the same time. That's hot, cold, lukewarm, straddling the fence nonsense. And that person going to get spewed out of his mouth. Honor the Shabbat. Hold fast to his covenant, his way. Yahuwah is not waiting for you to get into the wilderness. Some of y'all need to get this nonsense out your head. Yes, he does not restore his covenant to his people entirely, fully, completely, until they get into a place absent of Babylon, absent of Egypt. However, if you think he's waiting on you to get right before you get into the wilderness, the last Exodus, then you are highly mistaken and about one step away from being fully deceived. You are to pursue him. You are to pursue his way, his righteousness, day in and day out. You fall down, you get yourself back up and keep moving. Don't make no excuses. Don't try to act like what you said was okay, what you did was all right. Get up, man up, woman up, so that he can actually use you and preserve you when he sent his judgment out on the land and runs its course before he get to the place of the wilderness. For the eyes of Yahuwah run to and fro throughout the whole earth. You're not looking in the wilderness for nobody to get right now. To show himself strong on behalf of those whose heart is loyal to him. 2 Chronicles 16:9. Right now, he's looking for people to show himself loyal to. So that means when Joe Schmo over here losing everything and got no remedy, you kept. When so-and-so over there lost their mind and went crazy, he preserved yours. Yes. When people are struggling and can't eat, you eating. May not always be steak. Yeah. It may be something as simple as black beans and sweet potatoes. Man, that's a good combination with a little bit of Celtic salt. Yes, but that's him. He promises. King David said, I have been young and now I am old, yet I have never seen the righteous forsaken or begging for bread. So if he's never seen the righteous forsaken or begging bread, then how is it that there is no deliverance for those who walk in righteousness, though they are of the nations? Stop believing that stupidity. Stop listening to these clowns set up by the devil. There is deliverance for those who walk in righteousness. Has always been that way and will always remain such. The question comes down to, do you want it? Do you really want it? Or are you still toe tapping and dancing and faking it? Because you think somebody's going to come and pull you out the land when you loaded down with lies and sin. Selective obedience is willful disobedience. That's all it is. You pick what you want to do, you might as well not do nothing. You try to put some things off your plate because you feel like it's too much, then guess what? Don't just dump the whole plate and go do something else because you ain't getting in. He's not going to preserve you. You are next on the list for perishing in this life, in this age, in this time. He's looking for people who's loyal to him. Loyal is not subjective. Loyal is not partial. Loyal is not this time and maybe not later on. Okay, that's church nonsense. Come down to the altar when you're feeling like it. Is it time to get baptized yet? It's been 20 years. All that's ridiculous nonsense. Thus says Yahuwah of hosts, in those days 10 men from every language of the nations will grasp the sleeve of a Yahudi man, saying, let us go with you, for we have heard Yahuwah is with you. Zechariah Yahuwah 8:23. Man, tell me how many people of the nations, Gentiles, take off running, beat feet and head out over the hills when they hear this. What you mean? I can't get into the kingdom until I grab the sleeve of Yahudi. I can't get in until I latch on to the people that are depicted in Deuteronomy 28. Crazy. I'm not doing that. I just got to love Yahushua and I'm going to get in. Thus says the Yahuwah of hosts, not me. You better recognize. He said that you of the nations, Gentiles, you're not getting in. You're not going to see Yahuwah until you grab the sleeve of a Yahudi. Period. That's why. Let's just put this in the plainest perspective, right here in the truth. This is why he said that those people who hate, oppress, afflicted his people of the nations will be in captivity. All of them. Why? They're not grabbing nobody that look like this. Majority, most of them, all of them will not latch on to a person that has this, because this depiction, because it draws it boils over the ideas that were given to them in their head by the nations. It's a hard reality. So they're going to run from it. And the only place they can go is where? Yoke of iron, because that's his word. What happens when you grab hold of a true chosen one? What happens when you latch on to that person, truly chosen? The anointing of Abba Yahuwah that comes on them cannot help but to fall on you. Go back and look at the word, beloved. Look at the time the people in Egypt. Look at the time the nations were standing against enemies. The Gentiles were standing against enemies. And Yahshua and Yahuwah has sent one from Yasharala Yaqub among them. He had anointing these people, these messengers, and kingdoms were preserved. Lives were saved. Yes, what happened when the two spies sent by Yehoshua went into the widow's house, or the prostitute's house in Jericho? What happened to the widow and her son, whom Yahuwah told Eliyahu to go to for some food? What happened to her son? He perished. But she was obedient to the messenger. And not only did her son come back to life through the hand of Yahuwah, through his messenger, but she had enough bread and oil to last her the entire time of the famine that Eliyahu was able to speak over the land for the rebellion of the tribes. Yes. So when you are grabbing hold of a true chosen one, that is his consistent contextual promise all throughout the word. How do you find a true Yahudim? I'm glad you asked that question. At Caesarea, there was a man named Cornelius, a centurion of what was called an Italian regiment. He and his household were devout and feared Yahuwah. He gave generously to the people and made petitions unto Yahuwah continuously. About the 9th hour of the day, he clearly saw in a vision a messenger of Yahuwah coming to him and saying, Cornelius. And when he observed him, he was afraid and said, what is it, master? The messenger said to him, your petition and your gifts has come up as a memorial before Yahuwah. Now send to Joppa for Shimon, who is called Kepha. He is lodging with Shimon the tanner, whose house is by the sea. When the messenger who spoke to him had departed, Cornelius called 2 of his household servants and a devout soldier from among those who attended him continually. When he had explained all these things to them, he sent them to Joppa. Acts 10, 9 through 20. And the following day, they had entered Caesarea, talking about Kepha, with the men. They had left to go with him. And Cornelius was waiting for them, and he called together his relatives and close friends. And Kepha was coming in. As Kepha was coming in, Cornelius met him and fell down at his feet and bowed before him. But Kepha lifted him up, saying, what? Stand up. I myself am also a man. He didn't say, thank you for your donation. Thank you for honoring me. Thank you for this truth. He said, don't give me no doggone honor. Get up off your feet, off your knees, and get up on your feet. I'm a man just like you. It goes to show you about these messengers out here. Oh, thank you for your constant XY. Anyways, and as he talked with him, he went in and found many who had came together. Then he said to them, you know, it is unlawful for a Yahudim man to keep company with or go to one of the other nations. They had a clear separation there. But Yahuwah has shown me that I should not call any man common or unclean. I'm talking about your pork chops. Don't be eating that crap. Therefore, I came without objection. As soon as I was sent for, I asked then, for what reason have you sent me? So Cornelius said, 4 days ago, I was fasting until this hour. And at the 9th hour, I made a petition in my house. Spoke to Yahuwah. And behold, a man stood before me in bright clothing and said, Cornelius, your petition has been heard, and your gifts to the poor are remembered in the sight of Yahuwah. Send therefore to Joppa and call Shimon here, whose surname is Kepha, who is lodging in the house of Shimon, a tanner, by the sea. When he comes, he will speak to you. So I went to you immediately. So I sent to you immediately, and you have done well to come. Now, therefore, we are all present before Yahuwah to hear all the things commanded by Yahuwah. Then Kepha opened his mouth and said, in truth, I perceive that Yahuwah shows no partiality, but in every nation whoever fears him and works righteousness is accepted by him. The word which Yahuwah sent to the children of Yasharel, claiming Shalum through Yahusha the Mashiach, he is master of all. The word which was proclaimed throughout all of Yahudah. He said he knew this word because he was already walking in the truth. And began from Galilee after the immersion of Yochanan proclaimed how Yahuwah anointed Yahusha of Nazareth with the Ruach HaKadosh and with power, who went about doing good and healing all who were oppressed by the demon because they didn't want to stop living in sin. For Yahuwah was with his righteous right arm, his only deliverance. And we are witnesses of all these things which he did both in the land of Yahudim and in Jerusalem, whom they killed by hanging on a tree, not a stupid cross. That's the pagan ideology, so people can follow JC nonsense. And Yahuwah raised up on the 3rd day and showed him openly to all the people, but to witnesses chosen before Yahuwah, even to us who ate and drank with him after he rose from the dead. And he commanded us to proclaim to the people and to testify that it is he who was anointed by Yahuwah to judge the living and the dead. To him all the messengers bear witness of that through his name. Whosoever believes in him will receive a remission of sins. While Kepha was still speaking these words, the consecrated breath fell upon all those who heard the word. Acts 10:24-44. This is your way out. This is your way to endure the judgments. This is your way to be sustained in the wicked times. This is your way as a person of the nations to have the mercy of Yahuwah, to keep you when you see all the rest of the people being subjected to wrath. It is the truth in context. He receives everyone who does the right thing, period, who actually loves him because the evidence exists by way of their behavior, not simply their mouth. Cornelius was a Gentile who feared Yahuwah, gave to his people from the heart. They wasn't doing stuff out of, oh, I'm scared. Something might happen to me, so let me write this check real quick. Right? Let me give a couple of dollars, or let me go hand out some food. No, he gave to the people from in here. That's why the word says he did it generously. You can't do nothing generously if it ain't from your heart. He petitioned daily. He didn't have no once a week, some kind of one feeling like something. Hold on, I think I got some time. Let me get on my knee type nonsense. He had a continual relationship speaking to Abba Yahuwah, didn't hear nothing from him until the messengers came and spoke to him. And what did he say? Go get Kepha from the tribe of Yehudah. He also fasted. He laid down that fleshly desire. He didn't put no stupid ash on his forehead and said he giving up Snickers for a little bit. He fasted, truly. We talked about this before last week, matter of fact. That's how you're going to hear from him. That's how he's going to lead you. As a result, he and his entire family was saved. Imagine that beautiful thing. That's why it's so important for you men to be men. Stop being punks. Stop being sissies. Stop letting your wife say everything. Stand your butt up and be a man. It ain't making her, it's not making her less than what she is. You was called to lead. You was built to lead. You can get slapped in the face and endure harder than she can. Life can crush you. You can still get back up. You was built to be a man. Stop being weak. Cut all this nonsense, mental health junk out. Emotional breakdown nonsense. It's time for you to man your butt up. Your household depends on it. Is everybody in your house going to be saved? Of course not. Everybody in nobody's house was all saved. This is an exception to the rule. How do you know it's an exception to the rule? The word said his whole house feared him. Everybody in your house that ain't gonna fear Yahuwah. It's the last days. You're gonna have them hard-headed, knucklehead, backstabbing, lying, scamming family members, faking it nonsense. You're gonna have them rebellious wives. It is what it is. But you man up and you stand on that and watch him do what he said he's gonna do. You don't even know. Yahuwah may turn the tide. You remember that king that had so much time left in his life? Didn't want to die. Went to Abba Yahuwah, said, give me more time. Yeah, he got more time. Why? Because he knew how to fake it? Because Yahuwah saw his childhood traumas? No, he was real. His relationship was real with Yahuwah. And Yahuwah rewarded him for that. Gave him more time. Okay? Man up. Just like he did. He fasted, petitioned, calling on Yahuwah. Ain't worried about what other people think. Ain't worried about what other people feel. That's right. Hezekiah is a person. Is the leader whom Yahuwah extended more time to. But Cornelius manned up. Manned up. He didn't tolerate no nonsense. That's why they feared him, because he stood on that reality. And because of his obedience, a malak from the Shemaim came down and spoke to him, glowing. Said, look here, Yahuwah love what you doing. Woo, he love what you doing. You from the Italian branch, the Italian regiment. He said, you go talk to my tribe member from Yahuda. I want you to grab his sleeve because he has an anointing on him that's going to pour into your whole household. Yes. And he was obedient to that reality. And make no mistake about it, when Yahuwah sends out a message, he confirms that word. Yes, he confirms that word. All this Yahuwah spoke to me nonsense, and the other person like, well, I didn't hear that. Yeah, you know how many times I done heard that? Yahuwah told me to tell you. Yahuwah said this. Yahuwah said that. I done heard that from people super close to me. I done heard that from people I never even met before. And I was like, oh, really? I heard one of my sisters told me that someone told her Yahuwah said, give me some money. She said, well, Yahuwah didn't tell me that. Don't he confirm, right? He don't leave you in no mystery. Yes. But Kepha's confirmation, the confirmation of Yahuwah was given to Kepha, breaking down the illusion that he can't be in the presence of the nations. That man that Yahuwah cleans is no longer unclean or common. Yes. It was a mutual reality that came into fruition based on the will of Abba Yahuwah. And thus the very Gentile, who the evil lion, children of the devil, who became sons of perdition today, reject, actually got immersed. And there are those out there, Yahuwah willing, will lead me to do the same thing. It's been something that's been, people have been asking me about getting immersed, something that's been on my heart, and I asked for him to lead me in it. But nevertheless, that ain't gonna stop you from what you need if you really want it. Fasting and petitioning, so you can get past the noise, get past the crowd, the cloud, and all the garbage out there about who can be saved and who can't be saved, who his children, who ain't his children, all that nonsense. Yes, he's setting it up very, very perfectly right now. He didn't preserve me to come over here and make people feel good about that fake, stupid doctrine out there. He came over here, he slapped Flint on my face and said, you go tell them the truth. And all esteemed to him by his breath, I am emboldened to tell the truth. And if this dropped down to 0 people listening, so be it. I can care less. I'm going to tell the truth whether you listen or not. Just as Yahuwah guided the obedient Cornelius towards joining themselves unto Yahuwah, so will he guide obedient Gentiles to be led to his consecrated mountain. I bet when some of you saw the caption, is the thumbnail, you thought this is probably going to be one of them Hebrew Niggerite studies. Oh, look at that. You trying to tell all the white men going to go into captivity. No. Let's get the word in the fullness thereof, the context thereof, the history of the word thereof. Yeah, there's an order in his house, but his house is open to everybody, period. And anybody who tries to close the door on anyone in his house, they're not even in his house. The truth says that they outside. Woe unto you who shut the door of Shemaim on the face of the people when you yourselves are not inside. They stand on the outside of the door trying to keep you from getting in. Leave them clowns alone. Stop listening to them retards. Period. Order some hard words. I tell you what, you don't write them some hard words, but ain't no words gonna be harder than away from me. I never knew you. So you better get these in now, because once you hear that, you ain't gonna hear nothing else. Don't let the son of the foreigner who has joined themselves to Yahuwah speak, saying Yahuwah has utterly separated me from his people. Nor let the eunuch say, I am a dry tree. Yasha, Isaiah 56:3. Don't let them clowns tell you nothing stupid. Don't let them people out there that walk according to the course of this world out there yelling on the corner, reading the word so loud, the thous and the shows and all that so loud so that you can't say nothing back. Screaming through the microphone. Don't let them tell you anything different. You join yourself to Yahuwah according to the context which we seen, which is the consistency of his word. Don't believe Nothing happens. If the world went upside down right now, nukes went off and all that, he still has a promise to fulfill. Hold fast to his everlasting word. I'm living proof of that reality. You know how many people betrayed me, turned their back on me, lied on me, disrespected me, and yet he done brought every last one of them down. Period. Near and far. I am evidence of that reality, and to him alone be his thing, because I don't even deserve it. However, he had a word to keep. He has a name to uphold and a reputation that has to be sustained. And he gonna do it through the foolishness of this world. Some of y'all read my story. Why in the world am I talking about stuff like this? I should be dead. I should be locked up somewhere. I should not even have the voice to speak, but he does it. Why? For his esteem, his honor, not mine. What is the significance of the 6th and the 9th hour? I'm glad you asked that question. Now, from the 6th hour until the 9th hour, there was darkness all over the land. Woo! Falsehood, false teaching, fake people, fake messengers, disrespectful people, dishonorable spouses, hard-headed children, corrupt politicians, fake leaders. I mean, you name it. Darkness all over the earth. And about the 9th hour, Yahusha cried out with a loud voice, saying, Allah, Allah, lama sabat. I still don't pronounce that correctly. That is my mighty one, my mighty one. Why have you forsaken me? Some of those who stood there when they heard it said, this man is calling on Eliyahu. Immediately, one of them ran and took a sponge, filled it with sour wine or vinegar, and put it on his reed and offered it to him to drink. For those with ears to hear, Yahuwah never forsook his righteous right arm. He abandoned the will of the flesh. The context right. What did Yahusha say in the Garden of Gethsemane? If it is your will, take this cup from me. What was the cup? The crucifixion of the flesh. He had to drink of the crucifixion of the flesh, the suppressing, the laying down, the fasting, the rejection of the flesh, the get away from the flesh, stop following the flesh. He forsook that on the execution stake, not a doggone cross. Okay. How do you confirm this reality? Let's keep reading. The rest said, let him alone. Let's see if Eliyahu will come to save him. And Yahusha cried out again with a loud voice and what? Yielded up his breath. Woo! He gave up the breath from the flesh. What does that mean? He gave up. He separated what cannot be sustained with which can be. No matter how much Yahuwah keeps and protects us, this flesh has to perish. Yes, because in order for you to see the eternal promises, you're going to need a new being. That's why when he came back, he said, put your finger in my hand and in my side. He had a new being. Yes, transformed. Then behold, the veil of the temple, the house was torn in two from bottom to top. Yes, they didn't say everybody can go up in the house and get up in there how they want to get up in there. He still maintains his order. I know church teaches you differently. We all have access to him now. Yes, Cornelius did. He had access. He petitioned to Yahuwah. But what happened? A messenger had to come in and be that gap filler, if you will, to send him over to Kepha. After the veil was torn, the earthquake took place. The rocks were split. The graves were open, and many bodies from the consecrated ones who had fallen asleep were raised and coming out of the graves after his resurrection. Notice how you get a bigger account in here other than what they show you in Hollywood. They went into the consecrated cities and appeared to many. So when the centurion and those with them who were guarding Yahusha saw the earthquake and the things that had happened, they feared greatly, saying, truly, this was the bond of the mighty one. Matthew 27, 50, or 45 to 54. Okay, here's what happened. The ninth hour, 6 to the ninth hour. Okay, it was darkness all over the earth. Then what actually took place was the resurrection of that time. What actually was resurrected? Truth. It never died. It was suppressed. It was held down by the will of Yahuwah. But when it came back up, the word, the will, the way of life for all mankind, it brought up those who were dead. It brought up those who were consecrated and had died. Those who Yahuwah had preserved. Okay, consecrate means to place aside. That's what it means. It does not mean perfection. It does not mean without error. It doesn't mean without sin. It means it's put aside. He had put these people aside, and they had came back up when truth had risen. The 6th and the 9th hour represents the time of calling. Yahuwah calls you in truth. He calls you in righteousness. And when it was time for truth to rise up, there came those who were proof of the consecration. They were proof of being reborn. They were proof of truth. Are you evidence in this 6th to 9th hour of utter darkness, foolishness, in and outside of homes of the people? Are you the witness? This truth says that they went and witnessed, they showed themselves, they presented themselves to many. Are you the presentation of resurrection from what was once dead and now made alive? Yes. This is what Yahuwah of hosts says. In a little while, I will once more shake the Shemayim and the earth, the sea and the dry land, and I will shake all nations, and what is desired by all nations will come forth. And I will fill this house with esteem, says Yahuwah. Okay. This is Haggai 2, 6 through 7. He said there's going to be a shaking. Guess what? It's shaking right now. Homes are shaking. Relationships, marriages are shaking. Woo! Yes. Communities are shaking. Individuals by themselves are shaking. The earth, the Shemayim, is shaking right now. And he is shaking it like someone sifting the chaff from the wheat so that he can get what is desired to come out. The proof, the evidence, the witness, the fruition of who he truly is. Yes. So the question comes down to, is it you, Hebrew or Gentile? Yes. The curse has been reversed. The people who claim to be chosen of the Hebrew descent are perishing in great numbers in horrific ways. Yes, it's going to make the news because it fits the racial narrative, but they're not going to tell you why it's happening. They're not going to tell you why the so-called white women is being knocked on the ground everywhere you go. They're not going to tell you that it is reversal of the curses. So the question is, where do you stand in the midst of all this? Where do you stand in the fulfilling and the fulfillment of the foretellings written ages before you and I was even a thought in our parents' mind? Ask yourself that. Because when it's all said and done, if you don't know the answer before, it's too late. It's too late. Many are experiencing it right now. Many people today will not be here tomorrow. And they will not have the favor to overcome that judgment. Yahuwah is shaking the earth one last time, and all he desires rises up. And all that he desires is rising up. Is rising up. Everything else is falling away. His remnant, his chosen, his elect, his consecrated ones, his consecrated people of the nations, the Gentiles, is rising up. Period. Everyone else who don't want to hold fast to truth, obey him in the context which is written, they're falling away. They're enticed by messengers who said they were never appointed. They're enticed by lies and deceptions. They make excuses for why they do things that he said stop doing. That's falling. That's not rising. That's not coming out of the grave. That's not coming out of lawlessness. That is falling into or returning to the very thing he said stop. This is the narrow path that most will not find because it is not easy. Yes, you reject it. One rejects it because it carries a weight that's too heavy for people to bear because they are already loaded down with stuff they want to do. They're already loaded down with their expectations they keep making excuses for. Oh, it don't look like the end is here. It don't look like this is it. It don't look like these are the last. It look like we got a little more time. Hey, you know what? If something happens, at least I said my petition in the morning. So let me go out and do this and do that. And Yahuwah's, again, looking past. He's looking past the words, and he's looking right in here. And he's doing what he's doing, and he's doing the same thing he's doing all throughout the ages. Cut them off. Cut them off. Here you go. Here you go, Satan, they're yours. Here you go, Hashatan, they're yours. Here you go. Take them. I'm done with them. They don't want me. You can have them. The narrow path is total selflessness. Total selflessness. You can't do what you want, period. However you feel. You got to honor in the position in which he has put you, whoever you may be, whatever status role he has put you in. You serve him as he has outlined, not according to how you want to serve him. And if you don't do that, you are doing nothing but being a liar, a fraud. And when the pressure gets on, the proof going to come to fruition. It's all going to come out, period. But I love Abba Yahuwah's word because it cannot return void. We are witnessing it right now. Everything I said to you, go test it. Go test it. Go back and read. Go back and reread. Test the word. Man is flesh and is fallible. So you need to do like the Bereans did and have some diligence about yourself and go test the word. People who have listen, if you got true diligence inside of here and you really pursuing the heart of Yahuwah, you go find out if something don't sit right, you go find out if the word aligned. And if you were confused about that reality, then you need some fasting and petitioning. Period. If it happened to Cornelius, why can't it happen to you? It ain't gonna happen in your timing, and it never gonna happen the way you expect it to, because you again, you're working out your deliverance, which means you're coming out of expectations, falsehoods, and desires the world has established, because the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. All this thing belongs to the most majestic one. We got our after study coming up this Shabbat, which is, for us, that's the next day, right? Waiting for the time to shift according to what is written, right? And we do question answering, testimonies, studies, clarity and whatnot. Yahuwah leads you to share. So go to movingmindsetministry.org, click on the group study tab. And if you go down there to the bottom, read through it, see kind of a little more detail what we provide, go down to the bottom, click on it, and you get access no matter what part you are in the world. If you're in another country, you can text, call, video chat, or so forth and so on. right? So Yahuwah alone be lifted high. I am nothing but a sign in the road. I'm just a vessel. I'm just a tool for Yahuwah. That's it. You to be used by him for his purpose alone, not mine. Not mine. So you don't got to thank me for nothing. I share a post, don't thank me. We do a study, don't thank me. You ask me a question and it gets answered, don't thank me. Thank the one who makes sure that I get to breathe every day. You invest that thanks into him, not me. You invested into Yahuwah, because if it wasn't for him, I know where I'd be. Dead or completely off in some other loser ideology that has no weight in the word. All right. Hey, walk this truth out. Don't lie. Don't fake it. Don't pretend. Don't act like it's going to be all right, because it ain't going to be all right if you don't get right. It ain't going to change if you don't get right. Believe the word, take the word for it, not my word for it. Go test it. Be diligent, be noble, be realistic. Stop spending your time watching celebrities and idiots and people that are on their way to perishing. Stop wasting your time being emotionally drugged by what happens in the news, gas prices, stuff in the Middle East. All that is birth pains. That's supposed to take place for the end, for the revelation of the people who are truly the children of Abba Yahuwah. The earth is going through it. It's groaning right now because this expectation has been long awaiting. So walk it out. Walk it out. Don't talk about it. Be about it. If you can't be about it, then don't talk about it. Walk the truth out. Be strong in Yahuwah and the power of his might. Men be men. Don't be tail tucking and worry about what people gonna think about you. Stand on your purpose. Stand on your design. He gave you dominion over the entire earth. And you need to be dominant in righteousness. Everybody not going to like that. They're going to disagree with you. They're going to buck you. They're going to say all kind of stuff. But Yahuwah not only will keep you, he also will provide. He will fortify. And wherever you are called to be, a lack comes, he fulfills it. So you're not subjected to or left at the mercy of the nations, the world, the wicked. Walk in truth and righteousness and watch Yahuwah do every single thing he said he's going to do in your life, this time and forevermore. Again, I'm living proof. I'm living proof. I'm so excited that I look back over my evil, wretched, wicked ways, and he opened my eyes and allowed me to see who I really am in him. Yes, he revealed to me and confirmed more than once I'm from the tribe of Levi. I love it. I love it. And I say that with great humility, because I ought to be the last person from the tribe of Levi. But he's going to keep me in the calling in which he designed for me, because that is his promise. And he will do the same thing for every single one of the people who love him, no matter where they descend from. That is his promise. We've seen that with Cornelius. We've seen it all throughout the word, from the time of the Exodus, even to this very day. So honor him, and he will honor you, because he's looking for people right now. He's looking to see who he can show himself strong to. Yes. Yes. He's looking to put in the gap that's made by the rebellious and the enemies. He's looking to fill that gap in a way that's going to do nothing but cause you to say, Yada Yahuwah. Total Yahuwah for what he's doing, what he's done, holding fast to his word. Hey, remember, always be less. Humble yourself, reduce yourself, so he can elevate you and keep you in the times where the wicked are falling 10,000, 1,000 and 10,000 all around us. All right? Shalom, beloved.